If you're trying to get your ex back, there is one thing you need to do first, and that's to get you back. In the next 30 seconds, I'm gonna make your life a lot more simple, a lot more clear. It's not complicated. When you feel great, you speak great. When you feel great, you make different decisions. When you feel great, you become the kind of person people want to be and the kind of person people want to be around. But feeling great ain't a concept. It's not an idea. It's a skill. Even more accurately put, it's a conditioning. When you feel great, that is the crux, the fuel, the foundation to make everything come true. That is what shifts your relationships in your favor. But again, feeling great is a skill. It's a conditioning. Well, the only reasons why people go many years or decades without even addressing the core is very simple. Most people confuse times in their life where things are going their way. It's very easy to confuse times in your life where you're in Disney World or on vacation or everything's going your way. Just because you can feel good when things are going your way, that is not a skill. The real question is, can you still feel good when things are not going your way? Because the truth is, when your emotions get the better of you, that's exactly when you say and do things you should not be saying or doing. Contrary to popular belief, sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. So if you really want to change the trajectory of your relationship and really rebuild it from the ashes, you first have to get you back. People respond in accordance to the version of you bring to the table. If you get yourself feeling good, you'll start speaking differently, making different decisions, and you'll actually become the kind of person that people want to fight for. Super simple. Address the emotional core, your relationships and your life will turn around. Are you sick and tired of living an emotional Groundhog Day? Do you want to finally feel like yourself again? Awesome. Great. Let's do it. It is go time. All right, so here's the first step. First step in your resurrection is to attend my 5 shifts to go from pain to power in days. Not weeks, not months, not years, days. So if you look below the video, you'll see a nice, easy link there to go attend my webinar. Again, it's fully free. See the link below? Click it. It'll then take you to a page, just like you see here. Obviously, you're going to claim your spot. You click the link and then put in your name. Simple as that. Book your spot. Within a few minutes, you'll have an opportunity to attend, and I will show you a world you won't believe. But yeah, this is it. This is the first step here. And by the way, after you're done, you'll have an opportunity to book a call with me, not one of my coaches, me personally, okay? So that's it. This is your first step here. Enjoy the webinar and speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
I saw you at an event, just great vibe, heard you answer other people's questions that they had, some similar to my own, some different, and I just really like the answers. I really like the energy, and I just felt like if I'm going to make a change, this is a person that's going to help me do it. So that's definitely your end. That's the truth. So your vibe, your energy, and then of course, I mean, I listened to what you had to say about the program and determined it was right for me. But before knowing what it was really all about, I just felt like this was the person in my life at this time that would help me with what I needed. Yeah.
No, that's awesome, actually, because
it was a unique situation. It's a lot easier to, because I could have, if I had seen you on Facebook, I probably could have clicked past it, but it's hard to advertise this kind of things. Gotcha. But it kind of just, the universe brought it to me. I knew I was looking for something. I didn't know what it was, and it turned out it was this. I didn't even know you had a program. I was just like, I would like to work with this guy. I didn't know if you were a counselor. I didn't know what you were, but I just saw you up on the little stage, the way you answered the questions. And I mean, there was a couple other people on the panel that I also thought were good. And then others that I was like, nah, I'm not so connected with them. And then, so I was like, let me just talk to you afterwards, quick, get your LinkedIn, get a business card, whatever. And then I was like, I'm just going to follow up with this.
You notice that, okay, after you're done listening, you're able to be more conscious, calm, and deliberate. But after you're done listening, and then it's your turn to speak, how have you noticed that the way you speak now versus how it would have been before is much more from a position of, I want to say the word power, because you say powerful, empowering, meaning that you're not trying to control people, because I know that's the case. I know that's what we work through, but more like, you know what? I'm okay today. I'm not so fearful about what you're going to say or not say. How have you noticed in a practical way when you do when you actually are done listening and communicate, your words are more powerful because they're coming from a position of internal strength, where I know I'm going to be good either way, so I'm not so concerned about what the response is going to be. How have you noticed in a practical way when you do communicate, your words are different?
I mean, I guess I start in a more positive manner when I do respond. So it's not like I'm going to say yes to everything, because there are things that people say that I either disagree with or I don't want. But I'm more apt to go, okay, well, I hear what you're saying, and then either give my opinion different, it could be different, or the same, but I'm more apt to say yes or begin with. And then the person feels, okay, I'm being heard, I'm being understood. And then either we could still disagree on whatever point it might be, but it's not an argument, it's just a discussion. So things don't tend to get as like emotions don't tend to get as heightened, because I'm not responding and I'm not saying, well, no, but da 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 da. I'm just kind of saying, well, all right, I see your opinion, and in a more calm manner. And then it becomes, like I said, a discussion versus that for sure, just because I'm in that happy, calm state to begin with. So my responses have been a lot more calm, and they don't really. In the past, I might have set off the person even more if they weren't necessarily coming from a great place. I might have made it worse. So it kind of, I either keep it even keel, or we kind of have a better discussion. People have noticed me acting differently. Like people that I'm very close to will encourage me, like, hey, you're going to go for your run. You're going to go cause sometimes I do it on the trampoline. You're going to go on the trampoline. You're going to, and because they've seen me respond better and act better and be more conscious of my emotional state, they were encouraging me to do this. And other people I've even want to come with me. I mean, it's my own thing, so I don't bring them along, but they're like, what are you doing? Right. So I've gotten those kind of inquiries, and I'm like, well, you can't come. I can't look at you. I don't want, I got to focus. But if you ever want to do something, go out and do a run. I didn't just kind of keep it general, but
right.
I'm just like, think of yourself in a positive way. Listen to music, and then, yeah, I mean, I think in more tangible ways, I think for example, in the past, I would be messaging with someone, and a message would come across that was almost like a hook to get me hooked in. They might not be intentionally doing that, but it's one of those that would push my buttons, or a statement they would say in the past would push my buttons. And then now it's like, I'm very aware of that, and I'll either ignore it to peers. So the negative energy or the hook that would have gotten me hooked in and then push my buttons, and it would become a back and forth kind of thing. I've been able to dissipate that energy because I'm in a really good state, and that transfers over into the way that I respond. And then the kind of what would have been some sort of friction between myself and the other person really doesn't exist. And the percentage of time that there is friction between me and my close people is much, much less than in the past. There's a lot of things that I guess would have reacted to in the past that I'm realizing now. I'm like, is that really important? And I always had it in my head that, you pick your battles, but I didn't realize how many battles I was battling that I really didn't need to, even though I thought I was conscious of it, Louise will, he's got to fix this. He's got to fix that. Every time he would, say something to me that was not even bad, like just a little critique, or, hey, maybe you should check your energy, whatever. I would always go, well, look at your energy. That was kind of like how my mindset was, or how, don't tell me to go to a counselor, we need to go, or you need to go. It was always like a blame thing. And part of that's denial, because you don't want to admit that you have faults and things like that. And part of that was like, I'm sure there's some truth to us both having issues. Obviously, you were people. So then once I started doing this, I go, okay, well, I'm admitting that I have some faults and I'm working on myself just like I was previously, but it's actually working. So it was my husband wasn't there, nobody else in my life was there. And I was just I changed my mindset from the whole, well, you have a problem too, you this, you that, to just me. And the more I improve myself, the more I actually see him communicating even better. And he might not be aware that, he might even be communicating the same way or just showing up better. But it's definitely, I feel like we've done the counselor thing in the past with both of us there, and it is great to some extent, but then it kind of becomes an argument with someone, you're defending yourself, and then we haven't made progress. It's just look at all the things you did wrong in that meeting. Look at all the things you did wrong in that meeting. I'm like, I don't really get anywhere. But with this, it was more
Right.
of like, I mean, it's true. And believe me, I mean, we've tried, you know, different scenarios and so on and so forth. And this, I mean, I guess I just have shown up as a better person, for lack of a better term, maybe like a better emotionally stable, more emotionally stable is that a better way to say it. And being that I'm stable, it brings out the stability in him and my partner. And then from there, the communication tends to be more from a place of power versus us being in our insecure selves. Because when we show up insecure with each other, that's when we have problems. And the more, you know, and I would be, I guess in the past, I might be more concerned about like, I don't want to be too powerful, or I don't want to, you know, or I would be powerful and we come across as aggressive, where now it's, I'm in my power, you're in your power. We're both standing in our power, but we're not being powerful against each other. We're just kind of communicating from a good place, a good emotional state and a good, you know, mental state. So yeah, I definitely was of the mindset before of like, well, it's you, or it's, we need to go, or all this. And this is kind of brought to light that, well, okay, I needed to adjust things. I wasn't that bad, but what I did need to adjust, I'm adjusting, and I will continue to do so. It's not just done at this point, but the more I continue this and I stay on this, you know, this like higher level, I guess, then it just brings him, he just comes along with me because he's right next to me up on this higher level. So, you know, it's not even that I led him there. It just kind of occurred because you're showing up better. The people in your life are going to show up better. It was like the missing piece. Cause I'm like, I have all this knowledge. I'm smart, but why am I not changing? Like, why do I still feel this way? Or why am I still getting in that argument? And this is why. And now instead of having to do that, it like, there's one of the quotes that you use, but it's more of like, whatever happens, but it's like, I still feel good. So I guess there was the quote about oneness. You would probably know it better than I am, but now it's like
outcomes.
Exactly. So so that was what I would do in the past, was try to control these outcomes. And sometimes I was successful, but I mean, ultimately, if I was not, because it's not me that controls any of this. So that was the thing that I think one of the things that I think I really changed about the way I thought about it. You know, okay, well, let's let this happen, or let's let this event happen, however it's going to happen. And I'm going to have a good time, whether it goes A, B, or C, you know, whatever happens is going to happen, but I'm going to feel good regardless of how the night plays out, or how the day plays out, or the event plays out. I would recommend it to anybody, really. It's awesome. So, I mean, I like your intensity. I like your swearing. I like, it gets fired up. I like that. So that's like, you know, like the professional part and the emails and the connections, of course, all that was good. And then on top of it, just like the energy you brought to each session was sweet. It was sweet. It was awesome.